Hello. So this is Are You With Me Right Now, episode 12.
I hope you're right, because I can't be trusted to name our podcast correctly.
It is. It's episode 12.
Okay. I was very adamant that the last one I edited was 008, but it was definitely not.
Yeah. I'm kind of keeping a tally, I guess.
Well, I'm glad someone is.
So it's another issues podcast.
Fun, my favorite. And in this edition, you are drinking whatever you're drinking, and I am having a beer while I paint things for you.
I'm drinking coffee.
Oh, really? Well, I'm drinking beer, and I'm painting.
I'm drinking coffee, and I'm podcasting.
Thank you.
We're like the Donnie and Marie of podcasters.
I don't know them well enough to understand that reference.
Youngins.
I was going to say, I know who they are, but I don't inherently get the reference of oh yeah, I know what they do on a Saturday night. Do you want to enlighten me, or should I just stay an uninspired youngin?
Yeah, it's whatever. They weren't whatever.
Okay. You can't give up
They
on
were
me
just
this early.
they had a variety show back in the day. I think they were related. They were brother and sister. Oh, geez. The 70s?
Oh, wow.
Donnie, Marie, Osmond. No thanks, CNN, but no thanks.
That's what you wanted, right?
Donnie Osmond and his sister Marie. Yeah, 76 to 79.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, fancy. Well, you want to introduce the topic at hand?
Yeah, I suppose so.
We're really excited about this, if you can't tell.
So last night, I don't know, I brought up the possibility of, I've got, my friends and I are into using LSD.
Mm-hmm.
And
which I've known for a while, just to clarify.
Yes. And we have informally made plans to do it again. And I have invited you to hang out with me while I do it, because it's always been a positive experience in my life. So yeah, it's something that I've requested that you be a part of, just on the outside. I haven't asked that you do it.
And how that came about was, I don't remember what we were talking about. I was taking my makeup off in the other room, and you were just mentioning that you would probably do it again once you've gotten it for your friend. And I took it upon myself to say, that's fine, because I really don't care if you do drugs. I'm past the, you do illegal things. I'm past that. But I took it upon myself while I was in the other room to say, that's fine, but I'm not going to be around you while you do it. And that's where this all began, dear listeners.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. This has become a big deal, and it didn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
I didn't believe okay. I'm actually go ahead. Go.
Go ahead.
So I don't see it as something that needs to be a big deal, or something that even needs to be about us. The roles are currently reversed from what they were, I think, the last time we had an Issues podcast.
What do you mean?
Where I think last time I kind of made it into an us thing. And I think this time it's your doing. So which reveals our feelings on this.
Well, what did I turn into an us thing? Yeah. Or what did you turn into an us thing?
The date thing. I kind of kept digging that hole myself.
You kept what?
I feel like I dug that hole myself.
Oh.
Whereas this one's really on your lead.
Okay. I don't feel like I'm digging a hole, though.
As in, I feel like it's turning into something bigger than it originally was. That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, it is. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for painting noises.
That's fine. So, I mean, you're still like staunchly opposed to. Well, so last night you also described it as a hard drug, and that's not true.
If
Hard drugs are literally defined by being physically dependent. So your cocaine, opiates, caffeine, tobacco, alcohol, like those are hard drugs, amphetamines. Whereas your soft drugs are cannabis, psilocybin, LSD, DMT, stuff like that. Basically, your psychedelics are.
And the thing is, I know what a psychedelic is. Like, that was part of our discussion. Like, I know that it's different from meth. I know it's not the same thing.
I feel like part of your argument puts it in the same category, though.
Because I know it's not that like I don't understand what the effects of it are, because I do. But for me, I didn't know there was a definition of hard drugs, whatever. For me, like, I'm not comfortable being around people who are using drugs that are not alcohol or marijuana. And marijuana was a really recent comfort thing because you do it. And so I
Right.
became comfortable with it because it's really not that bad. And I knew
Okay.
it wasn't before then.
Okay. And I'm just trying to explain to you and show you even that neither is LSD. That it's something you can be comfortable around.
I don't know why it's so important that I witness this firsthand.
I mean, I guess it's not. I mean, it is to me, but if it's not to you, then it's not to us.
Why is it so important to you?
I guess in addition to being recreational, it's also therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Psychedelics are generally, I guess, seen by the user as being therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the way that they affect you.
Okay. So are you saying that, like, you want me to do it for therapeutic effects or not? Whatever. I don't know. What do you want in that respect? Where's that one going?
I would just like you to be around it and see what it's like. And, I'm just trying to invite you into another part of my life is all I'm doing.
A big part of what we were talking about last night was that because I don't have any interest in being around people that are using drugs, essentially. I know that's not the right word. Like, I know I've said a hi and it's tripping, but someone who's using drugs, like, I don't have any interest in being around that. Like, that's not me, and it's never really going to be me. And what made this an us thing was that you said it means that I don't trust you. That's where I'm saying this was kind of your turn to make it an us thing, because it ended up being a trust issue and that you felt very judged by me.
Yeah.
That was the word.
I definitely felt judged by you. I don't know if it's. I don't feel like you're not trusting me. I'm just asking you to trust me and to do this with me, to come along on this with me and to just see what it's like and to not put yourself on the outside of it intentionally. So
Why
you
not?
have a fear, because you have a fear of people using drugs that do harmful things, right?
Not really. I don't think you're going to be like, you're ruining your life with LSD. It's that I don't have any interest in witnessing it. Which, honestly, is, I think, a really chill perspective to take. Considering a lot of people would be like, no, don't use drugs. But I'm not controlling or like, hey, you shouldn't do that. But I get really worked up about this because I am horrifically uncomfortable around people who are using anything other than marijuana or alcohol. And it's not about you. It's not you using them. It's not that I think you're making terrible life choices or that you're going to hurt me. But I'm genuinely afraid of having someone not there with me. And I don't
Yes.
think that's a fake experience. And
I'm not saying it.
but I
Go
don't
ahead.
know why this is a boundary debate instead of boundary respect. Like, I don't know why you're debating me on this. And that hurts.
Because it's a boundary that you've created. Like,
Ooh.
oh, sorry.
Careful there.
It's a boundary that exists. I don't mean that this is like a false boundary. I understand. Like, so your feelings are real. I'm not trying to like discount your experience. I'm not trying to say that like you're being dramatic or anything like that. It's nothing like that. You have this boundary because of other experiences that are like so far removed from me and my experiences. I'm trying to invite you to see what like a positive drug experience is like. Just to like change your perspective, to eliminate that fear and to show you that like that boundary doesn't have to be like what you think it is, I guess. Like you have a boundary that's set up around fear of something, but that fear is not related to what I'm inviting you into at all. Like, yes, on the surface, it seems like drugs are drugs or whatever, but that's really not the case. And I'm just trying to show you that.
I'm thinking, I'm not just being quiet.
And that's what I mean when I'm like asking you to trust me, just to like trust me past this barrier with you, past this boundary with you. Because I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm really not trying to make you uncomfortable. I mean, it might be uncomfortable for like a second until you realize, like, just until you experience it.
Do you remember what happened when you first smoked around me? Do you remember what that was?
Yeah.
That was not like 1 second and I can shrug it off.
Okay.
And that's something that I am like fairly used to now. You know, weed doesn't like scare me.
Right.
But I'm gonna keep going, so please hang on. That's not how it works with me. And with the very severe abuse I've been through revolving around substances. It doesn't just go away. And I'm not going to be comfortable. Like, yeah, maybe later, but I will not be comfortable with that. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, this is fine. Like, I can probably just forget about that. It's not going to be a half second of, everything I was thinking was completely baseless. I'm going to freak out. Based
So
on
you would just rather avoid it for the rest of your life?
why is it so important that I share your drug use with you? It's not a part of my life and it's not going to be like anything that I do.
So you're going to leave every time that I want to do it?
How often do you do it? Like once a week?
I mean, it depends. I mean, no, probably not. But I'm sure there's going to be a situation where like I'm going to have to like choose between like, well, I can spend time with you or I can, spend time tripping.
Well, I think that might beg the question of which one do you value more?
And I don't think that's fair
Why not?
to make me choose something like that.
Why not?
Because,
And I haven't made you choose between any of these things so far, just for the record.
right. But one day we're going to live together. Like a lot of our time is going to really, run together.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, you're just asking me to choose something. Like choose, me or choose that. And I don't think that's fair. instead of just like trying to experience this with me.
I think I'm really confused why this is something I need to be a part of. If, like, going off of the model of your friends that are already married, like your best friend and his wife, she's not even around when he smokes weed, from what I can tell, or from what I've heard from you, is that they don't cross paths at all in that respect.
No, they do. Either that or they don't ever talk to each other ever.
You said you met her, or you saw her for the first time in a while when he
Yeah.
was coming to buy from you, and you really had no idea how she was going to react.
Right.
How'd that go?
It was fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I said, hey, good to see you, and all that good stuff, yeah.
Well, that's not what I meant.
I mean, they're still together.
I mean, yeah, but I think it's worth asking him how they handle that. Because, hi, if we're trying to get married, maybe we should see how married couples do this, because I don't know that she does any of that. Because I really hope you're not going into this thinking that I'll, like, start doing drugs with you, because I never will.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And that's
And I'm
just
not asking you
who I
to.
am. I just don't want that to be the next step in this.
Right. And I swear I'm not going there. Like, I mean, you're totally invited to if you'd like to, but I'm not requesting that you do that. Like, that's not important at all. But like, what's important is that like I can be around you while I do this, because there's no reason not to be other than fear. And that's frustrating.
What?
You're scared of something, so you won't do it. And that's the only reason, is because you're scared.
On the flip side, you know that I will most likely have a bad reaction to this, and why are you pushing me on it? Like, why do you want me to be upset and uncomfortable in a room with you when you're not present with me? Like, why do you want that to happen? Because it will. Like, I'm going to feel very alone and probably scared and have to call someone. I don't understand why my experience here are less important than yours. And that's what that argument translates to for me. Is trauma is real. My 23 years of life are very, very real. And I'm not just like being a baby about it. And I know you're not saying that, but that doesn't just go away because you want me to sit next to you while you trip.
It's not about sitting next to me. It's about like being able to interact with you while I trip. Because I think that's a large part of what makes tripping therapeutic, is being able to like share thoughts and feelings while you're tripping. And especially to like bounce them off of somebody that's not tripping. Because, I mean, yeah, sometimes you have like ridiculous thoughts and they don't make any sense. Inside of your head, they're like, oh, you know, this makes a whole lot of sense. And then you spit it out and the other person's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's hilarious. And then you're like, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, a lot of the time, you know, you have these other experiences where you're like, where you're able to like reflect back on something that's happened recently and been like, you know, wow, you know, whatever, you know, insert example here, you know. It's just a matter of wanting to be able to interact with you while I do it, because you're an important person to me. It's not about like having you like sit there and watch me drool. Like that's not what happens. It's not a thing.
Why are drugs such an important part of your life? As a 32-year-old father, for context.
Right. Thanks for the judgment there.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
They have nothing to do with me being a parent. They don't impede my ability to be a parent. So I resent that statement a bit.
Okay.
I mean, unless you think otherwise.
I just don't know why you would use your time for that.
Because it's therapeutic. Not just recreational, but therapeutic. I mean, recreational too. I mean, you do things purely for recreation.
Yeah, but you have a therapist. Why are you self-medicating if you've got a therapist?
I mean, a therapist isn't a end-all, be-all. It's not like a silver bullet there.
Mhm.
And neither is LSD, but I mean, they're also completely different. A lot of time, psychedelics just allow you more introspection because of the change in perspective.
Mhm.
So it kind of allows you to, I mean, it literally allows you to see things differently and experience things differently and reflect on things differently.
Mhm.
And sometimes it really helps you see like the bigger picture of like what's been going on in life. And it kind of, for me, a lot of times it allows me to kind of, I guess, to explain, letting you see the bigger picture, it kind of allows me to take like all of the feelings that I've had recently and kind of just like compile them, you know, into a box or whatever, and like, and really assess them
Mhm.
and see like what all of this really means. Like, where is all of this coming from?
Mhm.
Because you have a new altered perspective on everything. But yourself mostly, because yourself is what you know. Like, that's, you know, the majority of your experience is you.
Mhm.
And your own feelings and your own thoughts inside of your head.
Yeah.
So having increased introspection and an altered perspective allows you to see those things differently and process them differently and find new meaning from them.
Mhm.
And resolve a lot of feelings as well. Like some things that you may carry, you may not realize that you're carrying until you have a different perspective on them.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, therapy can kind of help with that stuff too, but I don't know. Tripping is a completely different experience.
Okay. I don't think I ever heard you speak that much consecutively before.
I've tripped a lot.
Yeah, I know it. My
Yeah, I mean,
therapist for reference is an NA, and he was kind of being a dick about your age and being a father. I personally think you're a very good dad, but his statements kind of freaked me out.
sure. I mean, that's fine. He's allowed to judge me without meeting me.
I mean, he's gonna meet you in 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
I think my same feelings that popped up on the worksheet I did when you first smoked around me are resurfacing. And that, like, 'cause I'm gonna have kids with you, like, it's gonna happen. As the phrase goes, if we don't hate each other in a few years. Like, I'm gonna have your kids, and we're gonna live together and, like, be married and shit. And we're not gonna have a whole lot of time to ourselves. And I don't know why you would wanna, like, escape with the little time that we will have. We already fucking don't have a lot of time together. Right now it's nice 'cause spring break, but I don't understand the removal process there.
I mean, I just asked the question again, like, do I use drugs irresponsibly?
You haven't used LSD as long as I've known you, so I don't know.
Any drugs, alcohol, weed, anything.
You do drink a lot.
Irresponsibly?
Based on some of your comments from the other day, borderline.
What do you mean?
That, like, you never ever go out and not drink. Like,
Okay, how is
if you
that
go to
irresponsible?
I think it's unhealthy. I think it's gonna hurt yourself. I don't know, it makes me wary that, like, you self-medicate that much just to go out to a concert. And I've never thought it was an issue until literally yesterday. It's never caught my attention until then.
What do you mean?
until you said, like, you literally do not ever go to a music performance without getting drunk.
No,
Is what you
without
said,
having
is that it's
beer.
been a long time.
Without having beer. Or without having a drink. I probably said without beer. I mean, I'll get a beer. I had 3 beers last night. I don't get drunk every time I go to see music. I'm sure I didn't say drunk.
I don't remember, so you probably didn't, but I don't remember. I mean, I don't know you to usually just have, like, 1 beer and stop then.
Yeah, I usually don't. But I know when to stop before I get drunk.
This current boundary is one I'm very scared to stand by because I feel like you're not gonna love me afterwards.
Yeah, I'll love you. You don't have to be a part of it.
That's what this is about, that I do.
Yeah, I'm asking that you do.
And if I don't, you're gonna feel judged and that I don't accept all of you. So, where's the good choice there? The first night I stayed over, you woke up and didn't remember a lot of that night. The substances you use, because I'm feeling really insecure right now about, like, are you present with me? Do you wanna be?
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm asking you. Like, will you allow me to be?
I don't understand.
I mean, has there ever been a situation where I wasn't? Was that the paint night?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we drank a lot that night.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think I made the statement that I didn't want to drink that much around you. And I haven't since then.
You didn't wanna drink that much and smoke, I don't think, at the same time. Something like
True.
that.
Yeah.
I don't remember when you smoked around me for the first time. When was that?
It might have been then. Yeah, it had to have been.
No.
I haven't smoked around you not at my house.
Well,
And if
yeah.
that was the first night that you stayed with me, then that was probably it. That was the first time that you came to my house.
Yeah, I know it.
So that would have been it.
I don't know that happened then. I don't think I would have stuck around if you'd smoked around me, like, literally the first time I stayed at your house. Because I freaked
Okay.
out, if you recall.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have been I don't think that was that night.
Okay.
Because I stayed over, I don't know, what, after, like, the first week and a half of knowing you? Or was that more like a month in? I'm remembering it was really early, which might be wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel like it was early, but you didn't even come into my apartment until, like, a week and a half in, so it was probably later. So it might have been that night.
So what I'm gathering now is that you think I'm an irresponsible person and an irresponsible father, but not based on actual observations of me.
Solid. That's good.
Was that sarcasm?
Yep.
That was mean.
Hmm?
That was mean.
That was mean. You said I was mean last night, too.
What'd you say last night?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to be mean. I was scared. We basically had this conversation without me being judgmental based on my therapist's ideas. I'm, like, sweating and I feel like I'm gonna throw up right now. Just status update. I think you're a really good dad. I know you love your kid a lot. I wouldn't want to create a life with you if I didn't think you could do it well.
It feels like you're telling me you don't think I can do it well.
Okay.
I'm not saying that to be mean to you. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Okay. It's fair. I got upset at you calling me mean last night because I didn't feel like that was fair. You can't just tell me I'm mean because I disagree with you.
I don't think that's why I told you were mean. That's not why I told you were mean just now.
No, I know why you told me I was mean just now. Because I was being mean. That's because I feel abandoned by this conversation.
I mean, same.
I'm sure.
Like, you're telling me you don't want to be with me when I partake in an activity that you've known since the beginning that I'd partake in. That's abandonment.
I think understanding and accepting that you do something is different from wanting to do it myself.
I'm not asking you to do it.
That is the same thing to me. To experience that with you.
So you're saying, no, you're not going to do this.
As of right now, I don't want to.
Okay.
And I think I don't understand why you do. I know you've explained it, and I know, like, I'm not trying to be stupid.
What do you mean? Why I do what?
Why you do drugs. I know you explained it, like, I'm not listening, I'm not ignoring you, like, I just don't understand.
I mean, why do you use drugs?
I don't. I drink alcohol
Yes, you
very
do.
rarely.
How many pills a day do you take?
2.
Okay. You use drugs daily. You drink caffeine.
This is why you
drink
called me mean
alcohol.
last night. Because
What do you mean?
Because you brought up that drugs from the doctor are no different than, like,
Yeah, drugs are
recreational
drugs.
drugs. And then
Right.
I got really hurt because I used Prozac to not wanna murder myself. And
Fair
that's
enough.
important.
Okay.
And that's when you said I was being mean because I was, like, about to cry at that statement.
Well, because you're still using drugs, but you assume that your drugs are better than my drugs or something like that.
There it is. You feel that I'm being judgmental and hypocritical by taking drugs myself.
Not necessarily. I mean, I understand why you take drugs, and that's fine. I get it. But to say that you don't take drugs and be judgmental of other people that do take drugs, that's hypocritical, yes.
You just think I'm judging you for your choices when I'm okay with them.
No.
Yes. Yeah,
I also
that's what you
wouldn't.
just said, is that I take drugs and judge people who do take other drugs. I don't have any issue with you using LSD at all.
You do take issue with it. If you did not take issue with it, my request would not be so.
Is there some self-consciousness there about your drug use? Like, why do I need to validate it for you?
I don't need you to validate it.
Yeah. If I have to be in the
Well,
room to
you
fully
do
accept
validate
this,
it.
like, then why do I need to validate it?
You do validate it. I mean, that's not what I'm asking of you. I'm just asking you to be present with me. Like, I don't want to do it and be like, well, I can't talk to my girlfriend for the next 6 hours because I don't want to freak her out.
Mhm.
I mean, I would argue that I could do it. There's a lot of situations where I could do it and you would never even know.
That's terrifying and comforting. That's really discomforting right there.
Why is that discomforting?
That if you'd be doing it around me and I didn't even know you were tripping, I don't find that good at all.
What would the problem? I mean, I wouldn't do that to you.
Thank you.
But what would the problem be, though? Why would it matter? Your issue with it is like the disassociative nature of it and the fact that you've been abused by people who are using.
Mm-hmm.
So if you couldn't even tell if I was using or not, why is that part of that boundary? I guess that's what I'm not getting. Like, why am I included in this boundary? Why is this not a boundary that I'm, why do I get caught up in it? I guess I don't understand why your boundary applies to me, because it sounds to me like it doesn't. Just like the nature of it. Like, I'm not trying to like play the boyfriend card and be like, you can't boundary me, but like, it legitimately doesn't sound like your boundary does apply to me. And that's where I feel like it's unfair, I suppose.
I don't know how the word fair fits into this. I don't know how to use that word in this situation or in this conversation.
I mean, I guess I feel like I'm being told that I can't be around you. And that makes it feel like I can't interact with you at all.
Mm-hmm.
while using LSD, and that's based upon an alcoholic father and a whatever it was your brother was using, an opiate using brother.
He used meth.
Yeah, sorry, thanks.
You're welcome.
No, yeah, sorry, thanks for correcting me. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
You're not a bad dad. I'm really sorry I said that. I'm just really scared, and that's not okay. I'm sorry.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. I was trying to process it and figure out if I heard you or not, but I didn't hear you.
Any of it?
You said you were sorry.
Yeah, I said I'm really sorry. I commented on your behavior as a dad. Like, I'm just really scared, and that doesn't make it okay. And I'm really sorry. I think you're a really wonderful dad, and I hope that isn't anything I've ever said before.
No, I know I'm a good dad, and then that's why I'm like kind of sticking to my guns on this one. Is I'm not irresponsible. I don't use drugs irresponsibly. Like, and I know that I don't. Sorry for the trick questions, I suppose. But I mean, it's not a trick question. It's just asking from your perspective, do you actually think that I'm irresponsible? I know that I'm not.
I don't think you're an irresponsible person. I will say I think you drink a little, like, really, really frequently, which is not wrong. Like, that's not an incorrect observation that you drink really frequently. That's just not incorrect.
Right.
I don't think
I
and
agree.
that's not unfair for me to comment on.
Sure, I drink a lot.
I'm not going to be a dick about it anymore, but that's a fair statement for me to make. LOL, I used the word fair in this conversation. Good team.
I mean, does it hurt anyone that I drink a lot?
I don't remember the last time you didn't remember what we did, which is a huge trigger for me. So as of yet, not since then. You have been careful around me since that happened.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I don't remember. I mean,
well, yeah.
I've never had a super great memory.
I know.
I mean, I do, but it, only if I'm remembering video game codes and stuff. Just kidding.
No, when you did forget that first night, though, it was actually very scary because I told you that it was a trigger of mine beforehand. And I didn't want you to wake up and not remember what we'd done.
Right.
That was a very full night.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, we both drank a lot that night.
Mm-hmm. Can you repeat your question, please?
No, I don't remember it.
It was about, like, boundaries and boyfriend. Why does it apply to you?
Oh, yeah. Why does your boundary apply to me? I don't understand why your boundary applies to me. Because your boundary was built because of an alcoholic father and a meth-using brother. And you were abused by both of these people.
Yeah. What's the question there? I don't understand why it would be surprising that I would have a boundary around drugs after seeing a lot of physical violence and being emotionally manipulated.
Sure.
I wouldn't be all warm and fuzzy about drugs.
Sure. It's just a gross misconception of psychedelics. I mean, I guess it feels like, I don't know. I don't know how to make like a good analogy with this because there's not one. You literally can't explain psychedelics to another person that hasn't used psychedelics. It's impossible.
Okay.
I watched Joe Rogan try to do it to Ben Shapiro the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like trying to, I don't know, teach rocket science to a freaking caveman. Somebody that doesn't even know what a rocket is, and you're trying to explain propulsion to them. I mean, it's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. How much progress can we reasonably expect to make on this front if I'm not going to do psychedelics then?
You don't have to do them.
I know. But if it's impossible for me to understand them.
I mean, I think you can have a certain understanding of them just from like being around someone who does them. Just to see how they affect someone, from the outside. That would be a huge, that would be huge there. And I think that's what I'm asking is, like, can I show you that this boundary really doesn't apply to this situation? I mean, to be fair, like I've never used meth and I've never been like the type of alcoholic that needs to go to a meeting because my family's falling apart because I'm an alcoholic. So I've never been an abusive alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really speak from their experiences either.
And I've never even seen my dad drink. He quit when I was 6. Didn't change anything, though. He used to, like, spill drinks all over us when we were little, but... Oh, yeah, like, we'd be sitting in restaurants, his hands would be shaking and, like, spilling shit on us, like, sitting in his lap. But the behavior still remains.
My dad would leave beer cans around the house and I'd pick them up and drink them when I was 2 years old, 3 years old, but he never spilled any on me.
Ah, good parenting right there.
Yep. I mean, I'd pull them out of the trash can and drink them too.
Gross.
I mean, I still do that, so.
Gross. I'm wondering how much of this discussion comes from your dad's, like, lying about his drug use.
What do you mean?
I'm wondering how many of his judgments on you we're trying to resolve here. Like, are you seeing your dad's reaction to your use in mine?
No, I don't care what he thinks about me.
Well, yeah, but you used to.
Could be. Yeah, but I think I quit caring before I started using drugs. I think that's probably why I started using drugs.
Mm-hmm. What, despite him?
No, not really, but just to get my own opinion about them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had friends who were doing them and talking about how positive they were. And I was like, well, I've always been told this is, a bad thing, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I hung out with people who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, LSD, hallucinating has always been a fascination of mine. Like seeing something that's not there. I mean, that's kind of like seeing ghosts. I mean, that probably just comes from having an affinity to like the paranormal or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see things that aren't there. So I've just always been fascinated in that case with LSD, and then doing LSD and then realizing like what a complete mindfuck it was. And it's not just hallucinations. It's, the whole package that comes with it, the altered perception.
Mm-hmm.
And just what an experience that is.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not interested in seeing what's not there. That's not a positive idea for me.
Sure.
So where does that leave us if I'm not interested in that and you are?
Well, I mean, you'd have to use to hallucinate. And it's not,
I
don't know. It's not hallucinations in the way you would think. You don't like see things that aren't, I don't know. It's really hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This leaves us with us being separated when I want a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it is. And I guess that's the way it is. It's fine. I mean,
I don't think this is the end of this conversation, though. Or this isn't just like, oh, done. I don't.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
No, I know. I'm just saying this isn't like we're not ending this entire concept right now. Like we're definitely not done. I mean, if you're done talking about it, that's fine. But I'm not done thinking about it. Like I'm expecting, or I'm planning to talk about this with my therapist when you come in a couple weeks.
Sure.
Like
there's just no other way for you to have a different opinion on it without trying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's only so much thought you can really put into it,
mm-hmm.
other than giving it like a hard no or a yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. And I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot last night because the argument was that if I don't do it, I don't trust you and I'm not trying to be a monster.
Right. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of stand by that. But only because, I mean, not that you're a monster, but not that you distrust me, but I'm just asking you to trust me. And I guess just to trust me that it's a positive experience.
And I'm over here wishing you would trust me on what I've been through and what I don't want to go through.
Right. Yeah, I won't use meth around you or like shake and spill drinks all over you. I won't use meth at all. How about that?
That wasn't funny.
I wasn't trying to be funny. I think that's part of my argument.
That was mean.
I wasn't trying to be mean either.
It's fine. I was still mean earlier without trying to be mean.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know how to rephrase that and not be mean about it. because I wasn't intentionally being mean. Sorry, what did I say that was mean?
That was really belittling. Like, oh, okay, I'm just not going to shake and spill stuff on you then. Like, I wasn't traumatized by having a drink spilled on me. Like, it was everything.
Right.
Like, it's.
Well,
I'm not. Whatever. That was just really belittling.
Okay. Well, I mean, the rest of the experiences with your dad are not drug related at all, are they?
He used other things. Whatever.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
want to talk about it right now.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah, I wasn't trying to belittle you. Sorry, I was being crass about it. I'm just like driving home the point that like nobody was using LSD in those situations, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And here we have, in the depths of a very different conversation, collective identity and generalizations.
What do you mean?
The use versus the, I don't know the other word, the opposite of use, which is positive, I guess, of grouping drugs together.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't it all come down to that? Ain't that some shit? That was really funny last night.
I mean, kind of. What it all comes down to really
I mean,
is
the movie was funny.
Yes. Message!
Don't be a menace.
I think what it actually comes down to is, I mean, yes, but what it comes down to really is that not even just people, but like intersectionality in general. And I hope anybody listening to this can really follow where we've gone with this. You and I are following each other, but
yeah,
we dove off into something kind of, whatever, meta here. But intersectionality, not just with people, but is that like individual is the ultimate like end goal of intersectionality. Hey.
What?
I love you.
I miss you a lot.
I miss you too. I'll see you in the morning.
Oh.
I can't wait. I love you. Like, I genuinely love you. And like that's where my request is coming from, is like a place of love. Like, hey, I want to share this with you. I want you to be a part of this. Like, this is a part of my life, and I want you to be a part of that. I'm not going to do this and abuse you. That's what I need you to trust me on. Like, I'm not an abusive person, and I'm not going to use something that's going to turn me into an abusive person. I need you to like, and that's where I'm asking you to go with me. And to trust me that I'm not going to do that to you. Like, your ultimate boundary there is like, I'm not going to be abused.
Mm-hmm.
But you've created a boundary in front of that boundary that I'm not going to have drugs used around me either. But only these drugs, like this certain sect of drugs.
Can we end it there?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love you. And just to talk about the issue in general, not the issue itself. I mean, whatever.
What?
If I may. To talk about the meta of the issue, if I may.
Are we recording or not?
Yeah. Oh, are we ending the podcast there?
You can do this, and then let's end it, please.
Okay. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, like, I hope it doesn't feel like I'm really pushing you on this. I guess my point is, if you want me to stop, I'll stop.
No was my original answer.
Right.
No was my upfront answer. And then this debate happened. And now I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Okay. So I'm pushing you.
Yes.
Okay. I'll stop.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Her audience can judge for themselves, I suppose.
And fuck them. I'm just kidding, kind of.
I'm not. Fuck them. I'm too profane. I say vagina too much in the descriptions anyway, so no one's gonna hear it.
That's right. So, I love you.
I love you.
I genuinely love you. I'm sorry for pushing. that hasn't been my intention.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I've felt like this was a two-sided debate. I mean, like that you were in this debate with me, and that I wasn't forcing you to be a part of this debate. If I was, I'm really sorry.
I feel like I've just been on the defense the whole time. So,
well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you are on the defense.
Well, not in a two-sided way.
What do you mean?
I felt like I knew my answer at the beginning, and then this became a trust issue. And so I had to keep going. Like, I don't think I wanted all of this debate.
Oh. Sorry.
It's okay. It's too late. I've already been a bitch to you in a lot of different ways now, so guess we're even. I can't take back any of that, but I am really sorry, and I love you a lot. I'm not gonna say those things again.
I mean, did a lot of that come from your therapist?
Yeah.
That's kind of shitty.
I guess.
Thanks, your therapist.
I mean, it's too late now. Like I already said it. That's my fault. I mean, I've been with you for what? Coming up on 4 months? We're like 3.5 months. I haven't had the thought on my own of like, oh yeah, at your age with a kid, how irresponsible. Like that's not a thought that I'd had.
Right.
So
I mean, my counter argument is that like, what does my age have to do with it? Like, at what point does your age matter? And really, at what point does having kids matter?
And my therapist,
what matters?
My therapist is in NA and has been for a long time. So that's his perspective.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. He's better than me because he had to go to meetings to stop using drugs. That's fine.
It's gonna be real fun to have y'all meet. Can't wait.
It's whatever.
Sure. Expect me to like get up and either pace or leave the room at some point. You cannot.
I don't think I'm going to fight with your therapist. I mean, he can start something if he wants to go there, but I don't see why he would do that professionally. That's not professional. So,
nah, he wouldn't. He won't have any rapport with you.
What do you mean?
Well, that's just what you do as a therapist. If you don't have like you meet your client wherever they are. Like if you don't know them, you don't dive in. You don't just go for it. He did with me because I got on his couch, cuddled up with the teddy bears, took my shoes off, and like cried in the first meeting because that's just who I am as a person. But if you have someone in your office for the first time, you don't dig in. You don't have any rapport.
Right.
So, no, I'm sure you won't. But I mean, with the nature of the discussion we're going to have, who knows?
Sure. So you're meeting a bunch of my family tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. I already met a bunch of
them. Yeah, okay, you did. We went to a wedding and you did meet a good bit of my family.
Mm-hmm. They were pretty cool.
Yeah. You get to like interface with them tomorrow.
Interface with them?
Mm-hmm.
What, with like a different desktop environment?
Sure.
Them's those technology jokes. But you and I will get to hang out tomorrow before I hang out with all of your family, which is the opposite of what happened at the wedding. So I think I'll be much more excited to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Because I'll like get your attention before you have to be pulled in 25 different directions.
And gonna drink alcohol beforehand.
Ooh, do I get to do that too?
I mean, yeah, if you want to.
Probably actually a bad idea for me.
Unless that makes you an irresponsible person.
No, I'll just get really drunk and then want to fall asleep at like 2 p.m. So yeah, I guess that would make me an irresponsible person. I think we knew that though.
I mean, yeah, the holiday naps are great because you got a good buzz going, and then
ooh, I'm shaking.
Shaking.
Oh, so scary.
Oh.
You with your alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a dick.
You're not. I mean, you're really not.
Yeah.
I think your therapist might be at this point, but...
Oh, I've told you that, though. He is a dick. We already knew that.
I guess you have, yeah.
We already knew that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just impressionable and scared of substances. Fun times.
I mean, I get it. like, I hope that you understand that I mean it when I say I understand your point of view. And that's why I'm asking. Okay, we're dropping it. Sorry.
Huh?
I said, I'm sorry. We're supposed to not have this. This is why we keep having the debate.
Yeah.
But yes, I understand your point of view.
I believe
I love you, and
I believe you now. I did not believe you when you said you understood me yesterday because we just kept going.
Right.
I believe that you're hearing me now.
Yeah. And you kept saying that.
That's been what's going on. Sorry, the last couple days, I feel like we're just not fucking understanding each other.
And I don't feel that way. I feel like I understand you. I haven't felt that way at all.
I have been feeling like we have not been hearing each other. And there was another debate, whatever, another conversation that happened with that too, a couple days ago.
What's that?
Like me wanting to support you emotionally.
Oh yeah, and I mean
like you literally didn't understand what I was saying.
Well, yeah. Thinking back on that now, I don't think it's emotional support that I need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I get a little cranky or whatever, but I mean, you do support me emotionally. So I don't think I need emotional support. I mean,
You just only have like 2 emotions.
Fair enough.
that was supposed to be funny. Because I have like 235 and they're all very intense. And you have 2 and you can like turn yours off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It just makes me feel very useless when like you're frustrated or like irritated about something and I can't help with that.
Yeah. I mean, same.
I know, and that's why I didn't understand why it was such like a disconnect. It's like that's what you want. You want to feel useful and needed. And I don't feel useful and needed when you're like upset about things and I can't help.
I understand that. I don't know what to tell you to do. I don't know how to direct you. I mean, so you're welcome to like take the lead and do it.
Well, I suggested stuff and you didn't like any of them.
Oh.
Know yourself before you can know others.
What do you mean? Like, okay.
Fucking fortune cookie. That was the best fortune.
Don't make suggestions. Just try stuff, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
we were on the phone for reference. I was not in the same room as you.
Yeah, and I think that's difficult too, is to provide emotional support over the phone or something like that. I mean, it's not impossible, but
no.
And especially when like emotional support's not really what I feel like I need.
Yeah. And I do a lot of tangible things for emotional support. Like I'll ask if I can put my collar on. Or if I may have something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I found that works best for you is sending you nudes. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, or just like doing something for me. I don't think it's just sending nudes. I think it's just actually like, hey, I did this for you.
Well, you're getting 2 things that I did for you hopefully tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how they turn out. I'm getting kind of sleepy.